Your grandchild leaned into their mother and whispered 4 words that changed everything. "Dada smells strange, Mama." Not said with cruelty, not said with intention to hurt, said the way only a child can say something, with complete and devastating honesty. And across the room, 71-year-old Suresh heard every single word. He did not say anything. He smiled, nodded, and waited until everyone went to bed before he sat alone in his kitchen and quietly wiped his eyes. He had showered that morning. He had put on fresh clothes. He had sprayed cologne the way he always did. And still, his own grandchild did not want to be near him. If you have ever felt that distance, that invisible wall between you and the people you love most, I need you to stay with me for the next few minutes. Because what I am about to tell you is something your doctor has probably never mentioned. Your children are too afraid to say, and that 99% of people over 60 do not know about themselves. There is a smell. You cannot detect it on yourself. Your nose stopped registering it months, possibly years ago, but everyone around you can smell it. Your children smell it the moment you walk into the room. Your grandchildren smell it when you lean in for a hug. Even strangers notice it within seconds of sitting near you. And here is the part that nobody talks about. It has nothing to do with how often you shower, nothing to do with your clothes or your home or your habits. It is a specific chemical compound that your body begins producing after the age of 50. And it is the #1 hidden reason why older adults slowly feel people pulling away without ever understanding why. I am Dr. Henry Collins. I am 76 years old, and I have spent over 4 decades working closely with older adults across the country. Today, I am going to tell you exactly what this smell is, exactly where it comes from, and exactly how to eliminate it starting today. Let us begin with the truth that most doctors never take the time to explain. As we grow older, 3 major biological changes quietly happen inside our bodies, and each one contributes to that distinct scent that younger people immediately recognize but rarely mention out of love or discomfort. Understanding these 3 changes is the first step toward fixing them, and once you understand them, you will never feel confused or ashamed about this again. The first change is that your sweat production drops significantly after the age of 60. Now most people hear that and think, well, that sounds like a good thing. No more sweating through shirts, no more feeling uncomfortable in the heat. But here is what almost nobody tells you. Sweating is one of your body's most important internal cleaning systems. When you were younger, your body released close to a liter of sweat every single day, flushing toxins, dead cells, and waste products out through your skin continuously. After 60, that output can fall by more than half. And all those toxins that used to leave through your sweat, they do not disappear. They stay in your body. They build up on the surface of your skin. They feed the bacteria living there. And together they produce that faint but persistent musty odor that others notice, but that you have long since stopped smelling on yourself. The second change is one that genuinely surprises most of my patients when I explain it. After the age of 50, your skin begins producing a fatty chemical compound called tunanenol. This compound does not exist in younger people. It accumulates slowly in the natural oils your skin secretes, particularly around the neck, behind the ears, across the chest, and on the upper back. And it has a very specific, very recognizable smell. Slightly grassy, slightly stale, a little like an old book left in a closed room for too long. Here is what frustrates so many seniors once they learn about it. No perfume, no cologne, no scented lotion can cover it up. Spraying fragrance over tunanenol does not mask it. It combines with it and often creates something even more unpleasant. The only real solution is to wash it away correctly, consistently, and in the right places. And I will show you exactly how to do that shortly. The third change affects your mouth. After 60, your body produces roughly 50% less saliva than it did in your younger years. Most people think of saliva only as something that helps you swallow food, but saliva is actually your mouth's primary cleaning fluid. It washes away bacteria continuously throughout the day. It neutralizes the acids those bacteria produce. It keeps your breath naturally fresh without you having to do anything. When saliva levels drop, bacteria multiply rapidly in the warm, moist environment of your mouth. Their waste products are gases, and those gases are exactly what other people are smelling when you speak, when you breathe nearby, when you lean in to kiss a grandchild on the forehead. This is why so many seniors struggle with persistent bad breath even when they brush their teeth faithfully every single day. It is not a failure of hygiene. It is a failure of biology, and biology can be managed. Now here is where things begin to shift in your favor. Every single one of these 3 changes has a practical, affordable, and genuinely effective solution. You do not need a prescription. You do not need expensive products or treatments. You do not need to see a specialist. You just need the right information and the willingness to make a few consistent adjustments to your daily life. Let us start with where on your body this odor is actually concentrated. Because I have worked with thousands of older patients over 4 decades, and the most common thing I see is this. People are bathing regularly, sometimes daily, but still missing the 3 specific areas where up to 90% of age-related body odor actually lives. These are not obvious spots. They are not the places your instincts tell you to scrub. They are the places your shower routine has probably been skipping for years without you realizing it. The first area is your skin folds. As we age, our skin loses elasticity and we naturally develop more creases and folds in areas that were once smooth and flat. The back of the neck, behind the ears, under the arms, beneath the chest, around the navel, behind the knees, inside the elbows. These areas are warm. They trap moisture throughout the day. They collect dead skin cells and bacteria in concentrations that exposed, flatter areas of skin simply do not. And during a regular shower, most people barely graze these spots with soap and water. They need real attention. A soft washcloth, warm water, and a thorough but gentle scrub of each fold can produce dramatic results within just a few days. One of my patients, a 67-year-old woman named Susan, had been showering every single morning for decades. When I explained the skin folds to her and asked her to focus on behind her ears and beneath her chest, she came back 2 weeks later and told me her teenage granddaughter had started hugging her again without hesitation. One small change in where she aimed the washcloth. That was all it took. The second area most people miss is the scalp. Most people shampoo their hair. Very few people truly wash their scalp. The scalp produces oils constantly, and those oils mix with sweat and dead skin cells to create a scent that travels surprisingly far, one that contributes significantly to the overall impression other people get when they are near you. When you shampoo, use your fingertips, not your nails, and massage your entire scalp firmly for at least 30 to 40 seconds. Work the shampoo into the roots, not just the surface of your hair. Rinse thoroughly and completely. This habit alone, done consistently every time you wash your hair, can eliminate what many people describe as that dusty or stale smell that sometimes clings to older adults even after bathing. The third area is your feet and toes. The feet contain more sweat glands concentrated in a small area than almost any other part of your body. They spend the majority of every day sealed inside socks and shoes, creating a warm, dark, moist environment where bacteria multiply faster than almost anywhere else on your body. Most people rinse their feet in the shower. Very few people truly scrub between the toes, which is exactly where bacteria concentrate most heavily. Use a washcloth or a soft brush. Work between every single toe. Rinse well. And then, critically, dry your feet completely before putting on socks, paying special attention to the spaces between the toes. Damp skin sealed inside a sock is one of the most reliable ways to generate the kind of persistent foot odor that other people in the same room will notice from several feet away. Now let us talk about the daily habits that work on this problem from the inside rather than just the surface. Because washing correctly is essential, but the odor has internal roots, and addressing those roots changes everything. The single most powerful inside-out habit you can build costs you nothing and takes less than 2 minutes. Drink 1 full glass of warm water every morning before anything else, before coffee, before breakfast, before your morning routine begins. Warm water on an empty stomach gently activates your kidneys and your digestive system, prompting your body to begin flushing accumulated toxins through urine before they have a chance to sit in your tissues and eventually migrate to your skin. Seniors who build this habit consistently report cleaner-feeling skin, improved digestion, and noticeably fresher breath within 2 to 3 weeks. One of my patients, a 72-year-old man named Thomas, told me that after 2 weeks of drinking warm water every morning, his wife said he smelled fresher in bed than he had in years. 1 glass of warm water every morning. That was the entire change. The second inside-out habit is daily movement in gentle sunlight. I want to be very clear about what I mean here, because I am not talking about intense exercise or pushing your body beyond its comfort. I am talking about a 20-minute walk outside, ideally before 10 in the morning or after 4 in the afternoon when the sun is soft and the temperature is manageable. This matters for 3 connected reasons. Light movement encourages gentle, controlled sweating, which helps your body release toxins through the skin in a healthy, measured way rather than having them build up indefinitely. Natural sunlight has antibacterial properties that kill surface bacteria on exposed skin. And improved circulation from regular gentle movement supports your skin's health and its ability to regulate itself from the inside. A retired teacher named Fred, 75 years old, told me his knees made him hesitant to try. He started with 10 minutes around the block. Within a week, he was walking 20 minutes comfortably. Within a month, his daughter told him he seemed different somehow, fresher, more like himself. The third daily habit involves your shower temperature, and this one surprises almost everyone. Many older adults love a very hot shower, and I understand completely why. It feels deeply relaxing and soothing in a way that warm water simply does not match. But very hot water damages your skin's protective outer barrier, strips away the healthy, balanced oils that keep your skin functioning properly, and paradoxically traps odor-causing compounds deeper in the skin rather than washing them away effectively. The ideal temperature for your shower is comfortably warm, around 100 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, warm enough to open your pores gently and allow a thorough cleanse, cool enough to protect your skin barrier and leave your skin balanced rather than stripped. Once a week, a 15 to 20-minute soak at this temperature will open your pores more deeply than a daily quick shower can achieve and allow a much more thorough release of the oils and compounds we have been discussing. Let us now talk about food, because this is an area where most people significantly underestimate their options. What you eat has a profound effect on how you smell, not in the immediate, obvious way that garlic affects your breath, but in a deep, ongoing way that determines how efficiently your body processes and eliminates waste, how much of that waste exits through healthy channels versus through your skin, and how much internal bacterial activity your gut is generating at any given moment. Most important dietary shift you can make is increasing your intake of antioxidant-rich foods. Antioxidants directly combat the oxidative process that drives 2-nonenal production, the compound we identified earlier as a primary source of age-related body odor. Apples, tomatoes, strawberries, blueberries, oats, brown rice. These foods are not exotic or expensive. They are common and accessible, and they actively work against the internal chemistry, producing the smell from the inside out. A 79-year-old retired teacher named George started eating one apple and one tomato every single day after I suggested it. Just those two things. 2 months later, his granddaughter told him he smelled like fresh air. He cried telling me that story. One apple, one tomato, every day. Garlic consumed in cooking, not raw, acts as a powerful natural antibiotic inside your gut, suppressing the bacteria responsible for both intestinal gas and the toxic compounds that eventually surface as body odor. 1 to 2 cloves added to your regular meals, roasted, sautéed, mixed into soups, is enough to make a meaningful difference over several weeks. Water-rich produce like watermelon, cucumber, pears, and celery hydrates your tissues from within, supports your kidneys in filtering waste efficiently, and reduces the volume of odor-causing compounds your body needs to expel through sweat and skin. On the other side of this equation, coffee and alcohol dehydrate your body, which concentrates waste and forces more of it out through your skin. Heavily processed or fried foods slow digestion significantly, causing waste to linger longer in your system than it should. You do not need to eliminate these things entirely, but reducing them and compensating with extra water when you do consume them makes a consistent and noticeable difference over time. Your mouth deserves its own dedicated attention, and I want to spend real time on this because the mouth is often the single largest source of the odor that other people experience when they are near older adults, and it is also the most consistently overlooked. The underlying problem, as we discussed, is reduced saliva, and the solution is a 3-step daily routine that requires less than 10 minutes total, but completely transforms the freshness of your breath and your confidence in close conversations. Step 1 is brushing 3 times a day, morning, after lunch, and before bed. Not twice as most people do, 3 times. In an older mouth with reduced saliva production, bacteria multiply significantly faster than they did in your younger years, and twice daily brushing simply cannot keep pace with that accelerated growth. Use a soft bristled brush. Focus especially on the gum line and the very back of your mouth, which is where odor-causing bacteria hide most effectively, and where most people rush through too quickly. Step 2 is tongue scraping every single morning before you eat or drink anything. Your tongue holds the majority of the odor-causing bacteria in your entire mouth, more than your teeth, more than your gums. Brushing the tongue helps somewhat but does not remove the thick bacterial layer the way a dedicated tongue scraper does. You can buy one at any pharmacy for just a few dollars. Pull it firmly from the back of your tongue to the front, rinse it, and repeat 2 or 3 times. The first time you do this, you will be genuinely surprised by what comes off. After a week of consistent daily use, you will notice your breath remains fresher throughout the entire day, not just in the immediate minutes after brushing. Step 3 is chewing sugar-free gum after meals, specifically gum sweetened with xylitol. Xylitol both freshens breath directly and stimulates saliva production, which is the root biological issue we are working to address. Just 10 minutes of chewing after eating gives your mouth the moisture boost it needs to neutralize bacteria naturally and keep your breath clean between brushing sessions. Keep a small pack with you at all times. It is inexpensive, discreet, and its cumulative effect over days and weeks is significant. One more important note about oral care. Avoid alcohol-based mouthwashes entirely. They produce that sharp, clean sensation that feels refreshing in the moment, but they dry your mouth considerably, which worsens the saliva problem that is at the root of everything. Use an alcohol-free rinse instead, or simply rinse thoroughly with plain, warm water after every meal when brushing is not immediately possible. There is one final layer to address that most people never consider at all, and that is the environment your clean body returns to every single day. Because even if you follow every step we have discussed, if your clothes, your bedding, your shoes, and the air in your home are holding onto odor. They transfer it right back onto you the moment you get dressed, sit down, or lie down to sleep. Change your underwear and socks every single day without any exceptions. These garments are in direct contact with your body's warmest, most bacteria-rich areas throughout every waking hour. Even if you feel clean, even if you barely left your home that day, bacteria are active and accumulating in those fabrics continuously. Choose cotton whenever possible because it allows moisture to evaporate rather than being sealed against your skin. Wash your bed sheets and pillowcases every single week. You spend 7 to 9 hours in your bed every night. During those hours, your skin is shedding cells constantly, your scalp is releasing oils, and your body is sweating in amounts you may not consciously feel. After just a few nights, your bedding holds a significant accumulation of all of this, and every morning it transfers right back onto your freshly cleaned skin. Weekly washing, with sun drying when the weather allows, keeps this cycle interrupted consistently. Rotate your shoes and give each pair at least a full day to air out between wears. Sprinkle a small amount of baking soda inside each shoe after removing them to absorb moisture and neutralize odor overnight. Set them near an open window or briefly outside in mild sunlight once a week. This simple rotation can virtually eliminate shoe odor within just a few weeks of consistent practice. And open your windows twice a day, just 10 minutes each time, morning and evening. Fresh air circulation removes the accumulated odors that settle into a closed room overnight and throughout the day. Body odor, kitchen smells, bathroom moisture, stale air, all of it clings to the walls, the furniture, your clothes, and eventually your skin when air does not move. Even in cold weather, cracking the window briefly accomplishes more for the smell of your home, and therefore the smell that clings to you, than any air freshener or scented candle ever could. I want to take a moment now and speak to you directly, not as a doctor, but as someone who is 76 years old and has watched thousands of people navigate this exact experience with unnecessary shame and unnecessary silence. None of what we have talked about today is complicated. None of it requires money you do not have. None of it requires a difficult conversation or a doctor's appointment or admitting defeat in some way. It requires warm water in the morning. It requires 30 extra seconds on your scalp in the shower. It requires 1 apple and 1 tomato. It requires a tongue scraper that costs $3. It requires opening your window twice a day. These are quiet acts of self-respect. Small decisions made consistently that add up, day by day, to something that changes the way you feel about yourself and the way the people around you experience being close to you. Suresh, the grandfather we met at the beginning of this video, made these changes one at a time over about 3 weeks. He did not overhaul his entire life overnight. He added 1 habit, let it settle, then added another. And one afternoon about a month later, without any warning or announcement, his 7-year-old grandson walked across the room, climbed into his lap, pressed his face into Suresh's chest and fell asleep there. Exactly the way he used to, before the distance, before the whispered words in the kitchen, before the quiet tears at night. That is what this is really about. Not a chemical compound, not a washing technique, not a dietary adjustment. It is about the weight of a sleeping grandchild in your lap. It is about hugs that last longer than they have to. It is about your children lingering at the door instead of rushing to leave. It is about aging without apology, without shame, without the invisible wall that nobody built intentionally but that everyone quietly feels. You deserve that closeness every single day, and it is closer than you think. If this video gave you something valuable today, please take a moment to like it and share it with someone who might need to hear it. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss a video made specifically with you in mind. And if you have already started making even one of these small changes, just drinking warm water this morning, just opening your window today, Tell us about it in the comments below. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to take their very first step. Thank you for being here. We are truly honored to be part of your journey.